Dave Ritual are in the house with Devolution magazine, and we're here to talk about their album Collapse, which is out on the 31st of January on the magnificent Church Road Records. Hi guys, how you doing today?
Good, thanks. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah,
Excellent,
very well, cheers.
excellent. Right, it says on your press release that last year you've racked up now 100 shows before your debut album came out. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
we've been really busy the last like couple of years, so just been churning away, getting as many shows in as possible what we can.
Yeah, absolutely. The last time I saw you was Arctangent, I believe, in
Yeah.
2023. Yeah, how was that experience?
Oh, it's incredible. It's a festival that I've always enjoyed. I've been a few times before, but getting to play it, it's something else really. It's such a good festival, and the lineup that year was incredible as well.
Mm.
It's a really, really great thing to be a part of, and the people who run that festival, everyone involved in it's really great as well. See, they've got their festival, 2000 Trees, which we're playing next year, which would be
Awesome.
great as well. Yeah, really cool.
I love that hardcore stage at 2000 Trees is amazing.
Yeah, the cave's great.
Yeah,
So much good stuff on that.
yeah, man. Cool. Well, it's you've supported quite an enviable cast of bands. The likes of Knocked Loose, who are a big talking point at the moment since they're on Jimmy Kimmel. Gate Creeper, Terror, and End, one of my personal favourites. Are there any gigs that stand out for you out of that lot that were particularly memorable?
For me, the Knock Loose one was because it was at KK Steel Mill in Wolverhampton. It's probably the biggest arena we've played so far, biggest venue we played. And they were just incredible that night, as were Terror and Static Dress, who played with them. So that was a really cool one for us to get under the belt because that was our first proper show back as a band as well. That was really great. I don't know if Dave's got a different one because he wasn't in the
Yeah,
band at that point. So
yeah. Sadly, I did miss all those three shows. I wasn't yet in the band for those. I guess personally for me, the most memorable one that sticks out recently would be the Celeste show in Birmingham for slightly different reasons. The show that went accidentally a little bit viral due to a lot of the crowd thinking they were seeing Celeste, the R&B singer, and not the
Yeah,
French
yeah, I heard
pop
about that. I heard
band.
Damnation had a bit of a kickback on that as well.
I I think it happened at a few of their shows, yeah, but it was very odd seeing that a gig we did sort of popping up in the Independent and regrettably the Daily Mail and places like that.
Incredible.
But that was
Did did
memorable,
the did
memorable.
did the fans not like twig when there was like Funeral Doom or something playing before? Like,
I think they definitely twigged when we started playing. Yeah, I think they thought, hang on, something's up here. This is
That's incredible. That's incredible. So your new album Collapse is out soon. What can you tell me about the progression of the band on this record? Because it's really like it's taken a big step up here. So can you talk me through a little bit of the thinking behind the album?
yeah, for us, it's been a journey. So when we put out our EP Spiritual Disease before, that was kind of us starting again and getting a lot of the ideas we'd had previously, but kind of working on those to improve them. And since then, we've kind of been really trying to nail down exactly what we want to sound like. And you see that with the new album. I think we've gone up a couple of other levels in terms of the stuff we're doing. We've added more kind of chaotic elements, a lot more. We've pulled in from a lot of influence as well. We've always been a band who there's always different things in in the mix in our sound, but I feel like we've really nailed down kind of the death metal side of it, the hardcore elements, like the modern kind of metalcore as well. And more of the extreme metal as well in terms of kind of that kind of like bolt throw, almost napalm death and like Entomb style stuff we've got going on now.
Yeah, it definitely sounds a bit more hooky as well, which
Mm,
is it's like there's a thing in wonderful death metal from a certain era. It's actually quite catchy,
yeah,
and
yeah,
and I think there's a bit of that going on in here. Was that an intention?
yeah. Kind of like we're all kind of the four of us in the band. We've all got like different influences, but kind of I would say that hardcore and kind of death metal side of things is something in general we've kind of agree on. So especially the more acute side of it, as you say, kind of there's a lot of bands from kind of the early 90s, early 2000s and late 90s where even though the production value maybe not always so good, there's riffs for days, and like we really love that kind of stuff. So as long as it's got a good riff and a good like drum beat and a vocal hook, then we're on board with it. So we're trying to kind of get more of that element in our music.
Right. Who was in charge of production on this album? Because it does sound huge.
Yeah, so this is someone called Jake Murray who runs Just Noise Audio, which is Birmingham based at the moment. And Jake's kind of like almost our fifth member, as it were. He's been in the band before as a part-time member when we were looking for a bassist. So he knows our sound. And he was involved in Spiritual Disease a little bit as well, playing some guitar and bass on that. So we've worked with him kind of throughout the last year. So you kind of he's a really good producer, he's a really good engineer. So his kind of imprints on the album as well as like because he's a great sounding board and he's a talented musician, so it's just great to have another ear. And I think you kind of see that as well in the music we've got now.
Absolutely. So, Dave, you've just, well, I say recently, you've just joined the band, uh, not long ago. Is that correct?
Yeah,
How long?
been playing with them about 2 years now.
Oh, two
So
years. It's quite a
coming
long
up,
time
yeah,
ago.
just over 2 years.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really a case of hitting the ground running, really. Sort of
Sure.
joined up, and then a couple of weeks later, we were out on a weekender with Death Goals. So it was really just
Ah, I
straight in
think
at the
that's
deep end.
I think that's where I first saw you guys actually with Death Goals, probably at Boom.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I,
I can't
I
remember.
think the
Well,
first time
Cage
I
Fight, I
came
think we
across,
made it Boom, maybe.
yeah, first time I came across you was definitely at Boom. Definitely. I remember
Thanks.
thinking, this is intense.
It's such a shame that Boom's closing down as well.
Oh man, tell me about it. I was just there the other
Heartbreaking
night.
that is.
Yeah, yeah, but they're moving. I'm reliably informed they're
Oh,
moving.
great.
So
That's good.
not quite dead yet.
Good. Good.
So
It's a shame if that goes full time.
yeah, absolutely. So thematically and lyrically, what is there a through line on this record?
Yes, I've kind of deal with most of the lyrics and kind of themes, and but everybody gets involved. But what's been influencing kind of my writing kind of last couple of years has definitely been like the state of the world, especially in the UK. So where Spiritual Disease was kind of more kind of UK centric and anti-Tory, this is very much a more wider world, and it's anti-capitalist and anti-fascist. That kind of thing's really important to me in general. So it's really influenced my writing because I feel like although we're a small band, it's important to kind of put our message across fully.
Yeah.
So there's that theme running throughout the album, kind of what's been going on in the world the last couple of years is kind of horrendous. Just obviously the rise of like the authoritarian right, both in the UK, Europe, America, kind of the genocide that's been happening in Palestine. It's just there's so many horrible things that it's difficult not to kind of feel kind of affected by that, even though in England we're so far away from it in a way.
Mm,
So I would say that's certainly influenced the album, even though it's such a sad kind of thing to think that that's influenced you. But unfortunately, due to the way the world is, I think that it's hard not to be affected by it, as I say.
absolutely. And it said in your press release for the single "Nor" that was a message about LGBTQA plus joy in expression. And is that a message that even though things are going so wrong, there can be a joy in expression?
Yeah, certainly. So kind of even though the lyrics and like the music kind of maybe kind of depressing in a way, we've certainly are more about the cathartic side of things. So it's
Mm,
about kind of allyship and feeling like you can get through this situation because we can get through it. We just need to kind of band together, everybody who's kind of like-minded and
mm,
show kind of anybody who's like bigoted or racist or homophobic that they're not gonna kind of prevail in the end because at the end of the day they're just kind of bullies and they always fall foul of that in the end. So kind of with Nor and throughout the kind of existence of the band, we've always been a band that's opened and had space for kind of LGBTQIA plus rights is something that's very important to me personally, and I know it's important to other band members. So I think as a band getting to play the shows we do, it's important to hold that space for those people and that message. Kind of the same with our other messages. Because bands can obviously do what they want, but in this day and age, it's important to show people that they're accepted and
Mm,
that they can come to a show and have a good time and not have to worry about things, which I know kind of that does really affect a lot of people going to festivals and shows, especially if they've never been to very many before or it's something new, where it's I think it's so important to kind of feel that you're welcomed so that you can just freely be yourself, so you can enjoy the experience of seeing a band or going to a festival.
absolutely, absolutely. Um, Also on this album, you've got an amazing guest vocal coming in from one of our friends, Rachel Asp from Cage Fight on a Recursion, which you just put out as a single. That's quite incredible. How did that come about?
Yeah, so we played with Cage Fight, I think it was about a year and a bit ago now. We did a little run with them, which was great. That was the first time we met them all, but they're all lovely people, and Rachel's vocals are just incredible. So when we were writing the album, we kind of felt we had space for a couple of guests, and she was certainly top of the list for one of the ones we were looking to get. So when she agreed to do it, it was great. And recursion of the song, I felt like it really suits her vocal style because we've got her gutturals on there, we've got her
Mm,
high. She's such a versatile and talented vocalist, and also we've got Harry from Burner as well. He's
absolutely,
in the UK scene. Both of them are just the top of the game for me. Like they've got
absolutely.
so much depth and like venom in their vocals, which it just really suits. It suited our what we were looking to go for. So they were like top choices. But yeah,
Absolutely. Harry certainly is killing it at the moment. I'm
yeah,
looking forward to that next record with Bated
oh
Breath, I
yeah,
have to say, because I always call them like the British Converge. I think they're
yeah,
just absolutely
Yeah.
spot on. Spot on.
yeah. That's stunning.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what's the plan after this release? Is there a big touring schedule, I should imagine?
Yeah, so we've got a selection of release shows coming out. Only two have been announced so far, but there'll be some more of those being announced over the next few weeks. So we've got London at the Black Heart on the 6th of February. And then the day after, on the 7th, we've got a Birmingham show, which would be great. And we've also got a Bristol show at Rough Trade, which is coming up on the 15th of February. They're
Or
all headliners ones, so they'll be great. Really looking forward to those. And we've got a couple more to announce as well, plus 2,000 Trees in the summer. And then between those release shows and Trees, we should have some other stuff that'll be coming out soon too.
amazing, amazing. So, like obviously you're on Church Road for this now. Church Road, my goodness, what a year they're having.
Mm,
Like, with the Low End record, with the
yeah,
Hidden Mothers album absolutely dominating at the moment. It must be very exciting to be part of that stable right now. Like,
yeah.
yeah, have you noticed like a bit of a step up now we're on the Church Road stable?
Yeah, certainly. Like it's a label that for years now, it's a seal of quality, I think, to be to be a Church Road band or to see a Church Road band. So
Definitely.
for me personally, in the past, if I saw a band was Church Road, I'd probably know I'd like it, and so it's just a case of checking them out. Kind of bands like Ryle, really cool, and like Lowen, like you mentioned, their album early in the years, it's incredible, and that
Mm,
Hidden Mothers record's great as well. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what's coming out next from the label itself. For us as a band, they were the only label we approached, when we were looking to kind of put collapse out. So it was incredible that they said that. And Sammy and Justine are just such lovely people.
oh yeah.
So it makes it so much easier. They're kind of, I think you can tell they're kind of like lifers and that they love music. And even if they weren't kind of in bands and running a label, they'd still be involved somehow.
Mm,
Um, which is really great because obviously when you're working with people like that, it can only be a benefit to yourself and them. And it's just yeah, we couldn't think of a better label to be on and collapse coming out of. So it's really valuable experience for us.
yeah, there's a definite community vibe, definite in the UK at the moment in general, but like around Church Road, definitely. Everyone knows each other. It's like when you go backstage at Arctangent, it's like Mates Fest, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
it's a great time to be in the UKC. So
yeah,
how are you feeling about all this step up, Dave?
It's very, very exciting. I mean, as you were saying there, Church Road does kind of feel like a bit of a family. There's just such a strong sense of what they are and such a strong sense of identity in that label that just covers covers such a sort of breadth of the underground in this country. So it is an honor really to be counted as part of that, and just really exciting to have something that we've worked on and something that we've put together coming out as part of that on that label with that kind of tacit kind of endorsement behind it. And
Yeah.
it's just the heavy scene in general in this country, I think, is in a really exciting place
Oh yeah.
right now. Like more like it feels more energized now than any time and I can think of in sort of like the last 10, 15 years, really. Whether
Yeah.
that's a result of sort of everything we've been through in the last 14 years, and kind of there's a lot of catharsis and built up pent up aggression and pent up rage about that. But it's in such a ridiculously healthy place at the moment, and it's just exciting. That's one word for it. How I feel about going forward with all this, just a palpable sense of excitement.
Absolutely. And as you say, like we're in such good form this year. One of the hardest things I had to do this year was sum up my top 5 albums of the year, right? Really, really difficult job because there's so much. Now, I'm going to turn that question back on you two. What are your top 5 albums this year?
Does it have to be heavy? Because I've got quite a.
Anything.
So for me, I've been thinking about this recently. I think my top album is probably Terminal Nation, Echoes of the Devil's Den.
Hmm.
It came out mid of the year on 20 Buck Spin. It's just like an incredible hardcore kind of death metal mix, and the guest vocals on that are incredible. It's got like Jesse Leach,
Oh wow.
Kate Kennedy from Sex Prisoner, Dwid Hellion, Todd Jones from Nails. Yeah, if you've not listened to that, or like if you've not checked them out, I would very much recommend it. They're just an incredible band, and like ourselves, they kind of write and take influence from the world around, especially because they're an American band. So that record is just laced with venom and cathartic kind of aggression, which yeah, I love it. And each of the guest vocalists and the songs they're on, it really it elevates an already elevated album. So that would probably be top. And then I've been a real big fan of Ali X's album, which is called Girl with No Face. It's just the most like it's kind of 80s goth pop, electro pop,
Mm.
and it's really, really cool. She's toured with like Charlie XCX, who Brat would probably be number three for me. Um, I also really enjoyed the Candy record that came out
Oh
earlier in the year.
yeah.
That's just incredible. So that'd probably be number four. The name just escapes me right now because it's just been
Mm.
such yeah. And I also really liked the I don't know if I'm going to be saying this right, but the Tazom Bantil record, which is it's got members of Shivalba in it, and that's kind of it's let me think of what it's called. It's called beating the drums of ancestral force.
Right.
It's like it's like Xibalba turned up to 200.
Wow.
It's incredible. Like it's got a bit of death metal, a bit of black metal, and it's about kind of Mesoameric ancient forces and stuff. And it's just it kind of when you think of Xibalba, you think heavy, heavy hardcore. This has got more kind of post influences involved in it.
Mm.
So there's some parts where it almost kind of sounds a bit like Neurosis
Nice.
and things like that, but it's got that heavy element as well. So I'd probably say they're my top five, but it's been such a good year for music, kind of
Hasn't
like
it?
the Full of Hell album, the Gatekeeper album, like
Yeah.
Harriet's album.
Oh
It's
wow. I'd even
insane,
forgotten
yeah.
about the Fourth Hell album.
Yeah. Well, I think there's two, weren't there, in the end? And
Yeah. There was
like
two, yeah.
yeah, and Candy put out
Which
another
one?
record as well just recently. I know
Yeah.
Terminal Nation did as well, so really sport for choice, and it just
Yeah.
like and like in other genres as well. Like I'm a big like pop fan,
Mm.
so you kind of got like stuff by Sabrina Carpenter and
Mm.
Chapel Roan where there's just so much music and like yeah, it's been a real. I sat down the other day and like had a look at what I've been listening to, and there must be like 50, 60 albums
Yeah,
that I
man.
could probably choose from. It's really tough. Like, but yeah, I don't know what do you think, Dave? What would you be your top five?
See, this is tough. As you were saying, it's been just such a stacked year with everything. For everyone I can remember off the top of my head, there's like 10 falling out the back of my brain, like, oh yeah, that one was really good. I mean, records that I keep coming back to this year, sort of again and again and again. Sort of Foxing's self-titled, definitely, which is a bit of a change of pace for me usually. Usually like things on the heavier end of the spectrum, but they that's the first album of theirs that I've really dug into. Like I was aware of them before, but never really listened to them that much. That's just blown my mind a bit. That's really been the soundtrack to this year. Just a real mixed bag of emo and electronic and indie and all these things. There are moments of that album that it just sounds like a panic attack put on record, and it's fantastic. It's just so good. I think another one again, quite late to the party because it not been out very long. But Opeth's new one's bloody fantastic as well. That's been one that's a real sit back in the beanbag with a glass of wine sort of album and just let it wash over you. And it made me realize how much I'd missed Opeth. Sort of one of those bands, you maybe don't listen to them for a few years, maybe go in another direction, exploring other things, and then you just come back to that, and it's a big, warm, nostalgic hug, and it reminds you what you loved about them in the first place.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyone
It's I think
else?
anyone else from this year. I mean, I could rail off Chat Pile coming in
Oh
strong. That
yeah,
was a good.
No, that's a great record.
yeah,
Not
man.
not not loose, of course. I think that's going to be near the top of a lot of people's list this
Yeah.
year. That started the year off with a bang as well.
Mm.
I think definitely the speed record I've had on a lot as well.
Yeah.
Speed, Kublai Khan's new one. There's just a lot of big riffs this year. It's
There has
been a
been.
big riff
Mm,
summer. It's been just,
Right. Well, following on from that question, this is my new ender question. I'm trying this out on you guys first. Right. You have one record you can put on the national curriculum in this country for every kid who's growing up to listen to. What is it?
probably a Converge record, I reckon. Because I think everybody needs a bit of Converge in their life. Let me just have a look. Like, because it's obviously Converge, there's so many choices that you could go for. You just need it to be the correct one to get them into that before they go to their kind of more modern and heavier stuff. Like, I'd probably go Axe to Fall, maybe.
Nice.
Because I think that's kind of a broad mix of kind of old and new.
Hmm.
Like obviously Jane Doe is amazing. Like some of the later stuff they've done, like Blood Moon as well, where it's a bit more diverse. It's
Yeah.
great as well. But I think yeah, probably for me that would be it. Axe to Fall.
Cool. And Dave?
that's a tough one. I think possibly, if only for its place in kind of the broader political climate and of how much of it has related back to what's going on today. I would say Scum by Napalm Death,
Amazing.
possibly just to contextualize that sort of that late 80s Thatcherite period for kids. It's as much a historical document as anything. Like you can have whatever opinion you like about the musical content of it, but I think socially and historically it is undeniably an important record. It's
Absolutely.
Yeah, I fully agree.
And that actually, coincidentally, did turn up on kids' TV. It was on Craig Charles did a program called "What's That Noise" for kids' TV, and he actually had Napalm Death on it when they
Oh,
still had Bill
amazing.
Steer and Lee
oh,
Dorian.
brilliant.
So
I
yeah,
think
it's
about
on
actually looking
YouTube.
into
Look it up.
that. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, it's been absolutely incredible to talk to you guys, and I cannot recommend this album enough. It really twisted my cat back. So, have an amazing New Year, Christmas, and all that stuff, and I will definitely see you into 2025.
Great. Thanks so much for that.
Cheers, guys.
Bye now.